Milwaukee Fire Department. I came on, my recruit class was 32904, I remember that. And been on for 17 and a half years. You want to go on that?
I am Sharon Purefoy, Deputy Chief of EMS. I have been on the job for 18 years actively, and I came on 4/14/03.
Hi, my name is Kendria. I'm a lieutenant in the fire department. I've been on the job for 6 years, and my recruit class is 8315, so I'll be coming up on 6 years.
Oh.
8315.
That 7-year itch. What do you say about the 7 year?
She just had it, didn't she?
The itch?
Yeah.
Oh, for vacation days?
Yeah, when you were doing that.
Oh.
Did we just keep going? All right, so let's just start with Lieutenant Bradley. What does Black History Month mean to you?
So, in my mind, it's Black History every day. I don't consider it to be just a month because I celebrate it every day. There's things happening every day that Black folks do. But since this is Black History Month technically, what it means to me is that it's a focus on Black history, it's a focus on Blacks, African Americans, but I think it's more so for other folks to realize the contributions that we've made because there's a lot of people that don't know our contributions. They don't. And I think in that sense, Black History Month is for everybody else because I just see it every day. I see Black history made every day. I'm looking at it right now in this room. You, every day. That's what it means to me.
Right. And I'd add on to that and just say that you're absolutely right that Black history is every day for me as well. I look at February as the month to bring more people aware of, like Lieutenant Bradley said, the things that African Americans and Black people have contributed to this world. So we're Black every day, we see it every day, but I do appreciate this month that again shows everybody else.
My big thing about Black History Month is, growing up, we never talked about the stuff that African Americans invented, or anything positive, or what we did for society, or how we are just different and it's unique and it's okay to be different. It's always not like pressed down or shunned upon, but it's never talked about. It's always like the bad and the negative and slavery and all that stuff. So I felt like this month actually brought recognition. And I just read this article on this Facebook group about, what was it, Women Under Fire? You added me to it recently. And it was just saying like how it's okay to be your authentic self, whatever that means to you. Like, you don't have to straighten your hair to fit in. You don't have to totally change your style. And we mentioned, like, they mentioned in clothes like Rockaware and Fat Farm, transitioning to Hollister and Abercrombie. You don't have to transition, you can just be you, and that's okay. And I feel like this month just gave the acceptance to that, just being you, whatever that means.
Okay, that's good. Because I see that. I look at it as more so of a simulation. Not that that's a bad or a good word, but a simulation. That's why I see it, but not having to be for somebody else. So you can be who you are.
But I feel like that also changed with the times too. Like, it's for sure way more. Like, even me from even high school, I'm not even that old, I'm 26, just, it's okay to be just you, whatever that means. Like, be your authentic self 24/7, whether you're goofy, whether you're just chill, or whatever that is, just be you. And people don't like you, they don't have to like you.
Right, and it sure makes life easier because I would have a problem trying to be somebody else.
24/7,
I can only be me. And I like being me. I like
me. Don't you like you? Me too. I like me too. I like you, but I like you. I hear you. I agree with that. So I think I think Black History Month, or the meaning, encompasses all of that. I really do. And just to piggyback on what you said about maybe negative, and I don't see slavery, I mean, in the negative, in the sense that because it's part of who we are as a people and where we get our strength from. That's how I see it. Because there, for example, there was what was the name of that show that we played every month? There was a Black History Alex Haley.
Roots.
Every month, you know. And when you talked about you didn't really grow up with seeing those kind of things, right? I have a child, and I did introduce her to all of that. That, Shaka Zulu, of course, other actresses, but people just here in Milwaukee that were trailblazers, you know. So that's why I say every day for me is Black History, because I can see, you know, something that a Black individual, African American, is doing, is striving, is trailblazing. And I appreciate that. And I try and at least try to instill that in my child growing up so she could see that, you know, as well. So, yeah.
So, Kendria, how has being a Black female firefighter impacted your life?
Before I got on this job, I really never saw anyone that looked like me. And I know that's easy for everyone to say. Well, not everyone, but I'm pretty sure you guys kind of help identify with me. It's just, first of all, I never really called 911 like that, so I really didn't even see firefighters. And I did, none of them looked like me, woman or African American, to let alone. So, I don't know, I feel like it just made it more attainable for people. If you look like me, you see me, and I'm in the community, you're like, oh, she can do it, I can do it. And that's not a bad thing, saying that anyone could be a firefighter. It's just, if you see someone that looks like you, that gives you more hope. You can be in their shoes, they can relate, they understand what you're going through. So if they did it, I can see myself in that shoes, I can do it too. So I hope it opened the doors for more people, young people, to get on the job and that look like me to be where I am, if not further.
But what about you, Belinda? How has being a Black female firefighter impacted your life?
You know, I'm just gonna have to go back to original, the original Shiro in my life, who was the first firefighter. I didn't know at the time.
Okay.
It just dawned on me in my life that I saw. You know, again, I'm talking about, you know, locally. When I was little, my mom used to watch the show. I know it's taking you back. You probably don't know, but it is on. I think it's on reruns now. From like what is it called? It's a show out of Chicago. It was a fire show. Also, they did a police show too, but I can't think of it right now. 1 Adam 12 maybe? I don't remember. But anyway, so my mom used to watch that all the time. It was these fire shows, right? So when I was younger, I would see that, and I would see just white men, right? And I was like, oh, I like that. That's, you know, that's interesting. Firefighting, I was really young. And so that stuck in my mind, right? And then later on, just like you, growing up, there was a fire. I didn't see any women, let alone any Black females, any Black women on the job. But I would see, white males. That's all. I didn't even see Black men, but I saw a fire, and all the firefighters came out, and they were all white men. And I was like, oh yeah, you know, I want to do that. I could do that. And I thought from that show, that's what, you know, I wanted to do. And I actually thought that's where it came from. Mm-hmm. But just recently it came to my mind. I saw a firefighter. We lived on the east side, big houses, you know, the big houses you don't really want to go up in or be on the top of the roof of, but they're really high, right? On the east side, the duplexes. We lived in a duplex upstairs, and I was downstairs, and a big ottoman chair caught on fire in that house upstairs, and I was downstairs. We lived upstairs, so I was on the porch, and I saw this firefighter run up the stairs, and I was like, what's going on? You know, my little self going up those big old stairs, and I was like, what's going on? And I saw that fire like blazing out of the ottoman. And, you know, from a little kid's perspective, it was a huge chair. And then I saw this strong person pulling that chair out by themselves down all those flights of stairs outside onto the floor, or onto the sidewalk, actually. And I was like, wow. And it dawned on me, that is what I want to do. I want to be that person. And that person was my mother. I just could not believe that I had that thought. And that's where it came from. That's my Shiro. That was my firefighter. And I'm like, you know what? I did see that in my, so again, it's just something locally. So even though she wasn't technically, you know, a firefighter, that impacted my life. And I tried to get on the job several times, but I'm here now. And just seeing other firefighters, like, which weren't a lot, because when I came on, there were 3. Liz Ewing, firefighter, retired Battalion Chief Stephanie Hampton, and Chief Purefoy. So, and it wasn't a
It
lot.
was just us
It
three.
was just
and you
you
made
three.
number 4.
And I made number 4, and just seeing you guys, I mean, that made an impact because it was a sisterhood, and I like that because we had that connection that nobody else could connect us with, you know. So
Right.
I like that. So that's how
that
it
was
impacted
nice.
my
That you
life.
brought back a memory.
It did.
Yeah, and I think for me, being a female firefighter impacted my life because it introduced me to something I didn't even know existed. Never wanted to be a firefighter. Like you said, never knew of a firefighter, male or female.
Right.
So it introduced me to the firefighting profession, and it introduced me to the city that I lived in. Actually, I got to see a side of Milwaukee that I would have never seen as just a regular 9 to 5er. You know, you got to see people who needed your help. So I think it impacted me because it made me want to help people even more. You know, it made me want to let people see me because I didn't get to see many. I wanted young girls, men also, to see us and say, this is something that I could do. So it impacted my life because it made me want to get out there and make a difference for others who may have wanted this career.
And I didn't think it was a big deal. Like, I knew it was a big deal, but I didn't think it was. And then you're my boss, Med 16.
Officer.
We went on a run. And we walked in the house and the guy was like, it's 2 of them.
He was more excited to see us.
No, it's 2 of them.
This guy was so excited. He was supposed to be sick. We were there to see him, and he was like, "It's 2 of y'all." It's 2 of us. Like he was surprised too. So you know, if we were surprised, if we were on the job, yeah, he got better right away. He really did.
And I just couldn't help but laugh. That was so funny.
That was funny.
I'll never forget that day.
I think we laughed all night long about that. Yeah.
And I think one of the other things too, as far as the impact is concerned, so when we go in places and little girls even to this day and they see us and I mean the eyes just get wide and like, oh my God, is that a firefighter? She's a Black female, she's a woman, she's a girl, and look, and they see themselves in us, and that's impactful, and I think that's really important to see because even though we're in 2021, you still have little girls who haven't seen firefighters, let alone Black female firefighters.
Right.
So I think that just in and of itself is impactful on my life.
So who made up your guys' support system? As far as like off the job and on the job, and how do you think it made you like who you were, where you are today in the department?
Well, actually, because there was so few of us, you know, I think with anything, if you take a room and you have people who like science and they're talking about science, and in the other corner you have a bunch of swimmers, you gravitate towards what you know. Mm-hmm. So when Belinda came on in 2004, I had just come on in 2003. So of course, we looked for other people who looked like us. Right. And it was Liz Ewing and Stephanie Hampton. Right. So we rarely ran with each other on runs. So we rarely saw each other at work. So we had to have that support system that consisted of the phone and hanging out outside of work. Right. So we had standing outings where we would get together and just talk about
You're really big on that still to this day.
Still, we have to get together. We have to know each other. You know, so we would do things like that. And then I was fortunate enough, most comfortable I've ever been on the job is Stephanie and I were actually partners on Med 4.
And see, and that's rare. I mean, because there was only 4 of us.
Exactly.
I must have got lucky then.
Yeah, because then we were partners. And it is rare, but people just don't understand after, you know, just say being on a job 11 or 12 years, and, you know, all of the houses you go in are predominantly white male.
Yeah.
Now I have this partner who has we have a lot of similarities.
Right.
You know, something as little as you get on the rig, I'm the firefighter paramedic, my officer is there, and not knowing if you should put the radio on a station that you like. But me and Stephanie was like, girl, you better put that on 98.3, or you better put that, you know, and we laughed and we sang. So it was just a good time. We formed that support by just on who we were. you know, telling each other the different things that we were going through, or how did you handle this? And like you said, we still do that today. Our group has gotten much larger,
That's true.
you know, but yeah.
Right. And I think just knowing, yes, the group is larger now, and knowing that you have that support system in that group, and relying on that and using that too.
Right.
You know, to use it, because I remember there was a time when the first time, unfortunately, there was a fatality, and it was 3 little girls, and you and Stephanie came to the firehouse. I was working, you guys were off, and I was like, wow, this is just, you know, this is just crazy. This is just, wow, how did this happen? You know, and all these things going through my mind, and I'm in a station with just a bunch of white guys, right? Mm-hmm. So what are they gonna do? How are they gonna help me? Who, you know? So and actually it was like just being in a foreign country, to tell you the truth, because it wasn't my regular firehouse, and then this situation happened, and it's like, how in the world? You know, how do you deal with it? What's going on? I mean, it just blew my mind.
And we
three
showed
little
up.
black girls, and you guys showed up.
Okay.
And with the Starbucks. That's how I started with the Starbucks. The Starbucks.
So we started that habit.
But they showed up, and the support, you know, came to the firehouse. We were talking, laughing, and again, discuss different things. Just being there, just you guys coming, showing up, being there, just being there physically was just a sigh of relief.
That's good to
And
know.
so just, that having that support and using it.
Yeah.
Using it, knowing that, you know, we're all in it together, and to create that bond too. So
So, and then just adding on to that, I know we kind of answered this, with your position as a firefighter or a lieutenant, what contributions do you feel you can make to your community as a whole?
So, do you want to take that?
I think it's, my thing is
Because
just
they don't want to come after you.
being active in your community, whether that's there for like being in the brotherhood and we go out and we give people food that need food, or just being aware of some of the struggles that people have and being able to translate those to people that don't understand those struggles. Mm-hmm. Everyone might not understand why someone calls 911 for toe pain, or understand that the system was started 10 years ago and they were grandfathered into that system and they're trying to break that habit. So explain why that's going on, or be able to be in the community for that positive influence as well. It's not just there when they see it at the worst time of their life, but be there for the best time of their life too. Exposing them like car wash, exposing them outings, school supplies. So they see you in that limelight where you're also giving back, and it's not just they see you on the worst day of their life, whether that's a medical event or a fire. Those are horrible days. You never want to see someone under those conditions, nor do you want to be there for those conditions. How else do you feel like you make a community? I don't know.
I guess if I think about it, some of the contributions that I feel I can make is, again, letting people see us. We do a lot of things in the community.
That people don't know half about,
that people don't know about. Being visual, I feel is what got us here. It's what's going to bring more people into the fire service that look like us. You know, like Kendria said, they see us on their worst days. I don't know how many times, but I'm sure you guys have had this happen before too, where you were out with your family, whatever, and somebody walked up to you and said, hey, you were on that run with my mom. You know, and I remember those, and it's just like, that's the kind of contributions, you know, that we're making. We're out there helping people, and they remember it. And I think that's why the fire department, especially the Milwaukee Fire Department, is held in such a high light. We come and we help, and just that is a major contribution.
And for me, so I do other work outside of the department as well, but so all of this is just volunteer, it's voluntary.
I think that's volunteering.
You know, so it's volunteering, right? And it's not like we're not paid for this or anything. Going into schools, like for example, and I'm gonna use my daughter again. So just going into her school, just being, you know,
career day,
like 4 or something. No, not even career day.
Okay.
Just going to her school, talking about fire service, letting them see me, because they've never seen me before. They've never seen an African American female firefighter before. And then just having the kids interact, that's an impact, yes. And then them going back to their parents and saying, guess who we saw? For example, a little boy was in my daughter's class, and I think I may have mentioned this to you, but was in my daughter's class, and they were like 6. She was like 6. And the teacher introduced me and said that I was a firefighter, said who I was, and the little boy was like, no, you're not a firefighter, you can't be a firefighter. And it's like, of course I am. Because the little boy had never seen, let alone a female, but a black female firefighter.
Wow.
And hadn't seen it on TV, hadn't seen it in his community, or even if there was any incidents that happened, like a tragedy, unfortunately, if something, or if somebody was sick, that's not who he saw. That's not who he saw in this neighborhood to come on the calls, because otherwise, would he say that? No. So that was part of the contribution. That's part of the impact as well. And I remember my daughter going, yes, she is, trying to stand up for her mom. It was so cute. But then when I came in again, brought in my gear, and he was all excited, went back and told his parents that a firefighter was there, and couldn't believe that it was a girl firefighter. And his parents later on had come to me, and I was like, wow, that's just, being in the community like that, and them seeing me and volunteering for that, and doing different things. Yes, volunteering. And you talked about the Milwaukee Brotherhood of Firefighters, who part of me being here is because of the Milwaukee Brotherhood of Firefighters, because otherwise I probably wouldn't be here. I'm sure that I wouldn't.
Same here.
But all the things, yes, and all the things that the Milwaukee Brotherhood of Firefighters do as far as volunteering and raising money for scholarships. So we do a lot of things, and that's part of the contribution. And I think that's a great thing too, because then they get to see us. Like if we are down at Juneteenth,
Right.
We don't necessarily have to be in uniform
Right.
as the Milwaukee Fire Department, but we come as ourselves, and then they see us, and they're like, wow, yes, you're a firefighter. She's a firefighter. Look, the kids come like, like we're some kind of, I was gonna say superheroes, but.
So you feel like the community do you feel like the community has accepted you, been positive? How do you feel how do you feel like they've taken on to you being here in your role?
The community has accepted me, yes, because this is my community, and the majority of the people in the city of Milwaukee are African American, but yes, they have accepted me. I mean, and it's interesting though, because as long as I've been on the job, there's still people who haven't seen us. They haven't seen an African American female firefighter. They haven't. And it just amazes me when I go into someone's house, let alone see one who has a position as an officer like we do. Mm-hmm. So they're really surprised, and I'm surprised at that. And these are not kids, these are older adults. So I think, they not only accept it, they're elated, just like the chief was talking about. When you guys went into the guy's house, and the guy was so just enamored and excited to see you all, that you all made him well, just by your mere presence.
Just by walking.
Just your mere presence, I think so. What about you in the community?
I'm always shocked by how often people ask, how did you get there? Or, when did you guys hire? Or,
why?
I didn't, because I feel like I didn't have to go through everything that everyone else went through. I didn't have the same story you guys had. Mine was, I got into the cadet program.
Mm-hmm.
So it was, okay, apply, got in the cadet program, went through testing, then everything was pretty much, when you get in the cadet, they have it, so, yeah, they make it so you're not failing, they're on you, boom, boom, boom.
Right.
Which is great, because we're so young, so we need that discipline and structure. But everyone didn't have that opportunity. Everyone didn't, they didn't hire for 10 years. So I'm forgetful sometimes. I forget that people need on this job for 10 years, or was on the whole list for 10 years, and they didn't have the cadet program.
Right. Or the cadet program was now revamped, but they had a cadet program.
Yes.
But
yes.
people like me didn't know about the cadet program.
Correct. Like
So
recruiting
it
and all the whole
was
process.
just a small group of people who knew about the cadet program, and it wasn't even a recruiting. It wasn't even like it is now when they revamped it. And yes, with the cadet program, they've spread the word, and I think that's a good thing.
Right. And that was unfortunate, because the cadet program was founded by the Milwaukee Brotherhood of Firefighters, and it was supposed to bring more African Americans on. I mean, when it first started, you had to go to MPS, you know, you had to live in the city.
Yes.
And then things changed and it was revamped. But the great thing about it is it's doing what it's supposed to do now. You know, we're getting those more women, more minorities on. So
People had never thought about the fire department.
exactly.
As an
Because
option.
like you said, it didn't know. You know, we didn't really call 911. I don't think my family ever called 911.
No, and no, we just,
No.
we
I think
settle
I did
things in the
once.
family.
I think my grandpa fell.
Okay.
And then it was a whole issue because they walked in the house with the boots on. So I'm like,
So when somebody got hurt, we called my mama, grandma,
Exactly.
uncle, they come over and help, you know, so yeah, we didn't, that wasn't the thing to call 911. And that actually leads us into, we're talking about making the strides, and I think, well, especially with the Brotherhood, Milwaukee Brotherhood of Firefighters, we made a lot of strides in the cadet program, and that's what you're talking about, but also in positions, I think we've made some strides, obviously.
We have. I totally agree. We're making history. You know, the
There
fire
it is.
department has been around for 175 years.
Has it been that long?
And yeah, and in 2021,
It's even longer.
you're getting your first African American female deputy chief.
Yes. Ever.
Long overdue, but we're making strides.
Yeah.
You know, if you've ever been in McCabe Hall and you've seen all the fire chiefs on the wall, none of them are female. None of them really look like us.
Yeah.
But we're here. Right now, we might be firefighters, lieutenants, captains, deputy chiefs, but we see the movement. We see now that it can and has been done. So they're definitely making strides, but that helps when you have an administration that understands the need for diversity
Right.
also. You know, but there's always room for improvement. We're going in the right direction, but we definitely need more. A lot of people lately have been talking about, you know, my historic promotion, but to me, my promotion will mean absolutely nothing if I'm not directly involved in the development or have some kind of impact on the second, the third, the fourth, and the fifth.
Right.
You know, it can't just stop with me. You know, and I think that's how we have to look at it. We have to start including people who don't look like us in the succession planning. You know, succession plannings in the fire service did not include us. They had their folks that they would pick. These were the people they were going to groom, and they were the ones that were going to move in and fill the next positions. Even though we've always been here, you know, we were just never given that chance. And we talk about, you know, the support and things like that. I was lucky that I did have people on this job that said, Sharon, you might want to take this class. You might want to do this. The Milwaukee Brotherhood of Firefighters, you know, one of my largest support systems, you know, told us what we needed to know. This is what you need to know. This is what you need to do to get ahead. We followed that and, you know, we did okay.
yeah, I was lucky.
Not only just
A lot of people
inside, but then, yes, outside too as well, because not a lot of us are eligible, or I shouldn't say eligible, but not a lot of us have the opportunity to go to the National Fire Academy.
Correct.
And then so there is the Carl Homes where we can go there and get a lot of information, a lot of education, and I think just go and rejuvenation, and then you come back with all of this information, all of this knowledge, and you use it, you know, obviously to your advantage for your job, because otherwise, where are we going to get that from? And then when we come back, then we impart that on, you know, the other folks that are there as well, the other females, the other black females that are here and also coming up. I think that's a great thing.
Agreed.
The Carl Holmes Institute.
EDI?
EDI.
No, I've never been EDI.
EDI.
It's like a 6-year program, 5 years, and then last year you're a senior or something.
Yeah, I think, is it 4?
It's
I didn't do the grad year.
also then it's 6.
Yeah, so I did the 5 years.
It's 5, yeah. So the grad year is 6, but it's so enriching, and I mean you just get so much education, so much knowledge, and they're forward thinking, and there are a lot of things that they were going over that even the Milwaukee Fire Department hadn't introduced yet
Right.
to us.
Right.
So we already knew it, when we went there, came back, we had that information. And then when it was started at the here in the Milwaukee Fire Department, you were already there. You already
Right.
knew it. You already had the knowledge and the skill.
Right. So to even give more info, like she said, it's the Carl Holmes, Executive
Institute.
Development Institute. Because back in the day, when you wanted to go to the National Fire Academy, you had to get a sign off from your chief.
Mm-hmm.
The chief wasn't always gonna sign off on folks who wanted to go. So this African-American chief out of Oklahoma, I think he's
Yep,
from Oklahoma,
Oklahoma.
Carl Holmes started the same, or mirrored the National Fire Academy and started it so African Americans and females or minorities could come and learn some of the things that we weren't getting because we were unable to, further our education through the National Fire Academy.
Yeah.
So
I remember
that's
some people went to it during cadet, right? Some of our instructors, like, you already finished yours.
right. It's many of us on the
Yeah,
job
okay.
who have graduated from Carl Holmes EDI.
I remember, I think, in the passing.
And we push that because that's a major support system.
Oh, it
You
certainly
get to
is.
learn how other departments do things and bring it back to your department. You get to see that, hey, Milwaukee's not that bad. We're doing really good compared to many fire departments out there. But we can also see when we go, there's some growth that we need as well.
Right.
So,
And there's tools you can use here on the job that they give you there.
right.
And that's a good thing. So where are we?
So did we already say how the community responded?
I think so.
Okay.
They respond well.
I think so
I
too.
think
They get
respond
excited.
well. They do.
It is 2021 and there are still some folks who don't feel we should be here because we've also been on those runs that they were like, was it was us, right?
Yeah, no, you weren't there. went
You had
home.
left because that was the day we had
The all-girls group.
the all women's
Oh, okay.
group on Engine 9.
Yes.
Because I was there that morning. Yeah,
Yeah,
we need
yeah.
to talk about that too.
Yeah,
That was
again,
really
I
dope. That was
relieved you.
dope.
But it was funny because we went to
Who was it? Us two and Melanie and Jess.
Melanie and Jess, right.
Okay.
And we got the question like,
Where's the
Like,
real
you gonna pick me
firefighter?
up?
yeah, she said,
That's always the question.
you
isn't it?
guys strong enough to lift me? So
Like-
we still get, most people are excited, but some people are still
And they called back twice.
wondering, right.
Yeah. And just on the side note, so with that, I mean, that was historic in and of itself because there's never been an all-female crew on the department working together, which I don't know why that would be, why that is, or why
Right.
that was. So let alone all African-American female crew, actually,
Right, and Kendra was the one who actually got it started. She called me and she was
No,
like,
Melanie and
They-
they were on it.
oh, they were on it. And then she
Yeah.
called me and she was like,
And then she
if we
had to
can
stop
get
by.
a driver,
That's what it
we can get a driver tomorrow. We can have an all-female crew. So I called Chief Smoots, and he did the moving and tell us that to get us all in.
And then it went crazy.
Yeah,
And then
that was
it
a
took off.
fun
Because
day.
you always talked about that today. You're like, I'm working on all girls crew Sunday. We supposed to take the ATL exam. And Melanie was like, I'm gonna take it.
Yeah,
Okay, Mel.
But that
she
was
will
great.
eventually.
So there was definitely a lot of girl power that day.
It
right?
was.
A lot of
Most comfortable day I've ever had in the
Yes.
firehouse.
And then Chief Hampton was battalion 7. She's
That-
a battalion chief somewhere because she stopped by.
Yeah, she came by for the interview, but that wasn't the day of.
It wasn't.
Was it?
No.
No, yeah, we came back
No,
when they.
it wasn't
when
the
they,
day
yeah, because they.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was a good day.
That was a
really
good
fun.
day. It
And
was.
then the women who went
Small
up.
stride.
Remember those? Kiana dropped
Oh,
them off.
right.
I was so happy.
People were very excited. I think they responded to us really well. We got phone calls,
Letters.
letters. Would you be my Valentine?
Oh, yeah. And then again, you go in there and they're looking at you like, okay, and they forget that they had any issue. It's like, oh, we
Exactly.
solved your problem.
Exactly.
Just by showing up. All right. That's funny.
Do you ever feel like someone didn't believe in you? Or like you were expected to fail? Like through this whole process or on the job or...
I can't honestly say that anybody has ever
wished up on you?
wanted me to fail, but I'm sure there were times
Outright.
where somebody could have given me something to ensure that I didn't fail, but didn't. Even like a piece of advice, because sometimes you got those people, unfortunately, who will sit back and watch you struggle as opposed to, hey, why don't you try it this way? But they just didn't know who they were dealing with, because I wasn't going to give up until it was done anyway.
That's right.
You know, so not necessarily wanting to see me fail, but not giving me the tools that I needed, or expecting me probably to not do as well. They had this vision of who I was going to be way before meeting me.
Mm-hmm.
And that was hard. And I've told that
like,
story, you know, many times. You go to a house, you're new. I wasn't a kid when I came on the job. I was 33 years old.
Mm-hmm.
So
right, we came
I
out
had worked.
older.
Right,
I
I came out older. I came out, I was 33, so I already knew who I was.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't easily influenced. This is what you got. This is who I was. But when we got on this job, there were those who, you know, weren't really happy with us being here and didn't give us that support that you would give a new person. But it really didn't matter, because I never felt I had anything to prove to anybody. You know, I was my biggest critic.
That's what I was just gonna say.
You know,
the only
so-
person I needed to prove something to was me.
Exactly.
And going through the academy, it's not something that I looked at and was like, oh, you know, I'm gonna fail, or you know, this is hard, or they're gonna think that. Because I've been, first of all, you and I, we came on older, so we have life experience, right? So it's not like I came on and I'm thinking, okay, oh, they're not gonna support me, or I'm gonna fail,
Right.
because that's not how I see things.
Right.
And like you, I see things like, oh, I'm gonna get that, I'm gonna do that.
Right.
All right, okay, tower, we gotta run up this
Exactly.
tower. I'm gonna get you tomorrow.
But you know,
Yeah.
that's how we were raised, though.
Yes.
At the age that we were raised,
Our
and I'm
generation.
going to have to say this, you know, not knowing, I've met your mom, so I can see her being just like mine. You're not going to work to make friends.
Yes.
Those folks don't have to like you. And that's just the attitude we've always had. When I walk in the room, I am her. I am it. You know, it's everything I do has to be based on me now, believing in who I am, which it took a while for me to get there. You know, this firefighting thing was totally different.
Yeah.
You know, it was nothing that I ever wanted to do. It took me a long time to get used to 24-hour shifts. I mean, it was just, but I didn't give up.
Right.
You know, and again, that's where my support system came in, because it was many days where I was like, I'm only a month into it. I can go and folks will never even know I was
Right.
here.
I just go back to my other job. I'm good.
Right.
Yeah.
I think mine was a little different. Like, I feel like I always,
Because you came in at 18.
At 19.
19. Okay.
I feel like I didn't want to disappoint people, like, especially my cadet instructors.
You know, who was that?
Travis Jones, Hart Tongue, and Lieutenant Green. I did not want to disappoint anyone. I feel like everyone was, I don't know, I just like I didn't want to be a disappointment.
Okay.
So I feel like it was always like pressure, like I don't want to fail them, more than I want to fail myself. Like I'm 19, I can go. Like, but and then it just progressed on. Then you get on the job and you're like, okay, now I really don't want to fail people. I want to be
Right.
good. I want to be great. I want to do great things. I don't want to be average in anything I do. I can't be average in anything I do. Then you start just progressing. I feel like I can't speak on everyone, but I feel like more pressure on myself.
But I think like sometimes though there is pressure
I
from.
want people to like me.
There you go.
I'm that person.
But I think there is realistic some pressure or perceived pressure or from personnel or your crew, and so because you wanna make sure that you're doing the job right. You wanna be good in the crew.
And that's the thing
they're
too,
they have experience and they know what they're doing. You wanna know what you're doing. You wanna make sure that they know that you know.
Right.
And you know, so you get out there and you get in the forefront and you do that first.
Right.
So that you can kind of show them.
Right.
And that's
Yes,
what I learned
I'm
too,
gonna be
like,
part of this team.
Like it's okay being different. That's one thing I learned like over I don't have much time, 5 years. Like it's okay being different. Like I'm different. That's okay. But you want to be confident in your job. You want to be confident in what you do. You want to stand for something because that's my biggest thing. Like if you do something or see something you don't say anything, you can't sleep the night because you didn't say anything, that's a problem.
Exactly.
So speak on something if it bothers you to your core that deep where you can't sleep at night. Because those are your values and your morals that no one can take from you.
Right.
And that's good that you know that earlier
Exactly.
in life. Coming on as a cadet, because
And it's okay to be different.
Yeah, because when you come on as a cadet, you don't really have all those life experiences. You don't have maybe different job experiences like we have. We came on later. I'm not gonna say how old I was when I came on. I was 38. I may be the oldest female that came on the job.
Maybe.
No, I'm just not thinking.
I don't know, because I don't know how, I didn't know everybody before. Because remember, we had some women who they said they were never going to be firefighters, so they let them become paramedics, and then they ended up coming back on as firefighters. So,
okay.
Yeah,
I mean, prior to that, I guess, or I mean, just coming out straight from the recruit class.
Could be.
I hope not. You don't know.
What I was going to say though is just listening to you two talk, with us being in the firehouse and the different things that you've done, believe it or not, we've helped change that culture.
Yeah.
You know, just by us being in the room, we've changed some of that culture. Some of the things that were said or done, it's not going to happen when you're there. That's why it's so important to promote.
Or those preconceived notions.
Exactly.
Stereotypes,
Yes.
Exactly. But we're changing that. You know, you can say whatever, but you know, they want to say, you know, we might not be stronger, or we can't do this, but this is our time to shine. You know, so as far as, you know, persevering under pressure,
we're always under pressure.
You're always under pressure.
It was only me out there
dying soon.
chopping that wood with the axe. I didn't see anybody on my
It's just
back
turning into
doing
a diamond.
it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So we did that, yes. And it is changing the culture. And it seems like to me, it seems like it's at a slow pace, though.
You think so?
Yeah, because I think that we should be so much further right now than we are. But
I think you don't like.
I mean, with the cadets coming on, the diversity and getting, women on that way, African American women on that way, it just seemed like it was just such a slow. Yes, it was actually. When you talked about earlier about it being 10 years apart before you had another African American female, not a female, but a black female coming on, because there was Stephanie, and between Stephanie and you was 10 years, or between Stephanie Hampton and me was 10 years. But
it was close. It was me and you were a year apart.
Right, so that's 10 years.
Right.
So you have these two African American females, then for 10 years, none?
Right.
But you still have females coming on, but they weren't African American.
Right.
Why was
Right.
that? And then you have us. And now, with the cadet class doing what it's supposed to be doing by
But I feel like
more
some of your
people.
guys' struggles made me enjoy my career so much.
Right.
I always say that, like, some of the stuff that, like, I can never experience or speak on and say what you guys went through.
Right.
Because I don't know, and I feel like the stuff that you guys did go through made me love my job so much more. So thank you guys for that.
And I'm
for
not
speaking on
sure
stuff.
what year Valerie Woodard came on, but can you
Right.
imagine her struggle? The first African
by her
female
I can't.
by herself.
I can't.
Back in the 80s,
Yes.
1980 something.
Yeah.
Because I think Dwayne said it was before him, and he was 87, but she was on before him.
Yeah.
So can you imagine her struggles? I mean, any given day, you are not going to see another black female. You know, for years.
Yes.
You know, and can you imagine?
And then the strength she had to have. I mean, not just physically.
Right. And some of the stories she could probably tell.
Right.
You know? Yeah.
Isn't that amazing? And now we have, more, and I'm sure if she were to look back or come to the, like, okay, well, what's going on with the Milwaukee Fire Department? And then see, the number of African American females, she probably would have thought, I wouldn't have thought that would have been, these many.
Right.
Even though I feel
40
that there
years.
should be more,
Right.
that's just that's why I think that it seems like it's still going in a slow pace, because I just
At
feel
least
like
the
it
right
should be
direction.
more.
Right. And but then look at it like
Absolutely.
this.
Not
It was
in the right direction, but it's
175 years the Milwaukee Fire Department has been here.
That's
Think
true.
how many of those years there were no
80.
black folks in a class.
Period.
The first
Or the
100
department.
and what? So we're playing we'll never catch up.
Well, we know.
You know, if we were to catch up, we'd have to have all black classes for 170 years. So we'll never catch up.
Really changed.
But we are growing, and it seems like it's going a little quicker to me.
I think so.
You know, because I don't go on scenes anymore, but I do see telestat. And I see, okay, wow, they've got 2 black folks working over there today. They got 3 women in this house on the same day.
I feel like I see
So
it.
I feel that it's growing. You know, we're behind.
Yeah,
Like I can
growing.
go on a run, and I can
just-
literally go on a run and be like, oh,
Hey, girl.
right, like it's normal. And I also think too, like I don't know if it's just generational change too. With the guys are more accepting too. Like obviously everyone does not change. Everyone's not accepted. Everyone does not care or after the same goals that we are after, the same mission. But I feel like some of the guys are more accepting. Like you might be closer to a guy than you are one female, because the female might not like you.
Well, now let me just say this: guys might not like you either. You probably
No,
just don't
for
know,
sure,
'cause,
for
you know,
sure.
You
I
don't
just think
know
it more
what they're
personal.
saying. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
But I get that. Yes, I think they're more accepting as far as generational. Absolutely, because of what the climate was then.
Yeah.
You know, and then what the culture of the fire department was, and that is changing.
So I feel like that's
you're
good
right.
too. We're kind
That
of
is.
moving.
I'm not saying, I never say we weren't moving, I think that it sounds slow. Tasting what I thought or think it could be. I think it could be sped up, I don't know.
So, is there any additional advice you would give to somebody wanting to become a firefighter?
Yeah, do it.
Just do it.
Yeah, it's one of the best jobs in the world. I love what I do. Obviously, every day's not a great day, but majority of the days are good days. If you don't think you can do it, try first. Don't just make these conceived notions that, oh, this isn't for me, I don't like it. Whatever your reason may be, because people come with the craziest stuff, even in recruitment. They're like, oh, I can't do it because I can't sleep in a different bed. Like, what?
Yeah.
Just try it. Like, or I can't do it because I can't run 10 miles. Okay, trust me. Do it, try it. It's just try it. Go out of your comfort zone.
Right.
Just go to your comfort zone. And we need you. We want you.
Well, but yeah, I agree with that. Yes, get out of your comfort zone. But also know that you can accomplish whatever you want to accomplish. And this is something that you can accomplish. I mean, you obviously see us. You know, so if you see us, we've done it, you can do it.
And reach out and ask those questions about
Right.
how to get here.
And that's what I was
And
gonna say.
keep
If it's
in
really
contact
something you
and
want
talk.
to do, seek out a firefighter. You know, talk to somebody that's actually doing it. You know, do the firehouse tour. Because like I said, I didn't know anything about firefighting at all. They were running the test. I took the test. Didn't know about 24-hour shifts. Didn't know about EMS. I just thought firefighters ran in and put fires out. You know, so do some research on the job. And if it's not firefighting, do the research on whatever it is that you think you want to do. And don't talk yourself out of it. There's nothing you cannot do.
Nothing beats a failure but a try.
Exactly.
So just try it. Just go ahead. That's the advice that I would give someone. I truly would. And yes, and talk to others. Talk to us. You know, I think we're approachable.
I think so.
When we see, I do. We're out in the community, or at least when I'm out in the community, I believe that I'm approachable. I go and talk to people, even, and I always have done that. I've been out in the community talking to different community groups, schools, advocacy groups. I've been out there talking to a lot of folks. And I just think that the more that they see us and you talk to them, and I think they'll get comfortable, because there's a couple of people that I know who've seen me like several times and was like, no, I'm not going to apply, I'm not going to go. And then here they are applying. Yep.
Yeah.
And they finally did it, and they applied.
Because I for sure
Yes,
was never
I
like,
think
oh, I'm gonna be a firefighter when I grow up.
Right.
yeah, I don't think that's something that
Some people do.
okay, on the average, I guess, I don't think that they're, on the average, that's something that we as
Because we didn't
African-American
see
women, right.
You know?
But
And
it
we
sounds
didn't see
crazy. Like, I want to run into a burning building.
Right.
Do you?
I
Like, it don't sound crazy.
still don't want to.
Well, it doesn't sound crazy right now, because you had the training, but
Yeah,
prior to
right.
that, how did it sound? Or you
Crazy.
think
That's something crazy.
and it's like, what? What are you thinking?
Mom, I want to be tell them the worst day of life when someone's like going, no.
But I don't think that's what you think
Oh,
about.
that's what I thought about. I would give them the worst day of life when someone just got shot. And now I'm just like, I love what I do.
Because
I love what
yes,
I
we do EMS right and firefighting. And I think that's the other thing too, is that a lot of people think that we just go to fires for the most part. Because we still, and I know you have this too, you have this, we come on scene and they want to know why we're there. If they call 911 for some kind of medical and they don't know if we're the first responders, if we're going to be the ones to show up. Because sometimes they've called us, though. When they really need the police, but because you get there first. But they're just surprised. You know, I'm calling 911, why is the firefighter showing up? And they don't understand, you know, that we are the EMS as well, the medical part as well, and they don't see that. But I do know that when I was little, that's not something that I thought about, but I saw it, but I didn't remember, and I was like, where did I get that little inkling? Because I would apply, I applied all the time. I applied several different times, as I'm sure other people have done. I mean, not for the cadet, but just a general list. And then when that memory came back of my mother, I was like, that's it. But I've never seen a female firefighter. I had never seen, obviously, a black female firefighter. So it was like something that was there. That's interesting, though, how we all have. And I didn't know, you know, really what their job entailed either.
I had no
you
clue.
know. And then if you think about it when you talk to other folks, but when you think about it, you're not on the job and it's like, yeah, I gotta sleep, what, in the area with other, who? No.
We're
You know,
gonna like
how
the
do
cadet
you
program.
do
Like,
that?
it slowed it down for you, which was, I'm so grateful for the cadet program. And I'm pretty sure other people are too, but like, it broke it down, like what your job was, your description. You got to learn kind of like, I don't know how to make coffee. Like, and it seems crazy to think about, but they covered like basic stuff of just everyday stuff in the fire service that introduces you to the fire service. So that was that's a great program to have, and especially when you don't come from people with firefighters in your family.
Right,
That
and that's the big thing.
You're with other people in the same boat that get how you feel. I like it. I'm happy we have it.
Yeah, I think that's a good thing. It's just like, yeah, Sharon was saying, I didn't know anything about firefighting, and like you said.
And then my instructors like look like me, so I was like, oh.
And see, and that's another thing. They look like you.
I'm like, she'll get it. She'll get what my hair's now.
It looked like us.
Because I was her instructor. Yeah, you might want to leave your hat on today. So when you see us coming with the cap, you know why.
That no one else, you know, all the instructors would, you know, understand and know, you know, what that's like. And that's a good thing. And that's why we need to be here. And that's why
That's so true.
people like us, and we continue and should continue to make strides on the fire department. Yeah, I see great things for you.
I do too.
I do.
All this pressure we're talking about.
No, it's not pressure. It's not pressure.
No.
Now this is in Kendrick. Can I use the bathroom? Okay.
We are Black history every day. We love our
every
history.
day.
We're going to continue to show this history. We are going to continue to make history, and we are going to help and introduce others to Black history.
That's right. That's how I think of Black history. I think of Black history as other people being introduced to it. I mean, yes, African Americans too, but we're making history every day, and other people are being introduced to it.
Right.
And they're just shocked at all the things that we've done as the people, period. All our contributions.
So we look forward when we're gone, because we'll be gone before you will.
That's right.
You
That's what I mean
Something more
by
years.
you got great things happening for you here.
keep smiling. when they tell you that you're angry, you ain't got nothing to be angry.
I'm really not angry
But
at all.
then just go, it's okay. It's an emotion that we all have.
Yeah.
That smile.
So, yeah.
You only become angry when you start to, get promoted. That's when you
Yeah.
become angry. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You doing your
Yeah, I
job
think we're
right.
done. Yeah, because I was going to tell you this story. When I was at a med unit and I was a firefighter, paramedic, I was on the lieutenant's list. So, when you're on the lieutenant's list, you act. I would act with this particular person all the time, on the med unit. And then I got promoted to lieutenant. And 3 days into my lieutenantship, or whatever, the house captain comes to me. And he says, Sharon, so-and-so says that you're intimidating. And I said,
It's
well,
my fault that
I
you're
said,
intimidated.
wait, what do you mean?
Mm.
And he said, I said, give me some examples. Well, he couldn't give me any examples, but he just said that you were intimidated. And I remember looking at the house captain like, what a great leader you are.
Oh, we have
You're
some
coming
stories,
to
don't
me
we?
to tell me that I'm intimidating, but let somebody come to you and you felt the need to come back and talk to me about it, but didn't come with an example. I've never seen myself as intimidating,
Mm-hmm.
but if you're intimidated by me, whose fault is that?
That's a little different. isn't
I
it?
mean, I didn't
It's not a personal
I
problem,
didn't-
but that's a
walk around the firehouse doing kung fu kicks.
Yes, you did. I saw
No,
you
look.
on that.
After the captain talked to me,
It was
I probably did become intimidated. I would just walk around the firehouse doing this.
right.
Yeah, so
But
that's all.
yeah.
I just thought that
Please
was
don't walk around
one day
firehouse
I'm
doing that.
no.
okay.
That's funny.
Yeah, it was
But isn't that
such a-
interesting how just things change? How the terms
Oh yeah.
how the terms
I was
table.
cool until I became your
How the terms
lieutenant.
table.
Yeah. Then I became angry and intimidated.
Mm-hmm.
Aggressive.
Just call
Yeah.
me Mr.
What other
T.
words are we used?
Yeah.
You know.
Well, yeah, but
Angry,
That's funny.
intimidating, not a team player, antisocial, whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever you want to label me as, I know who I am.
it's just crazy though. Like you can say the same thing someone else says, and they're considered assertive.
Mm-hmm.
They love control. They're like they demand presence within the room.
Mhm.
You're aggressive.
Right.
Oh, aggressive.
Right.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, because it's funny when my mom and dad were raising us. You know,
you can't be just kind of firm with someone. Yes, you got to be aggressive and angry.
Right.
All this aggression and mad and
Right.
You mad at the
Just
world.
angry,
I'm
you know, like, I was like, what are
I'm
you
not angry,
talking
but
about?
my dad always said that when he raised us. You know, he raised 3 girls and 2 boys, and we got the same talking to as my brothers did, my
Mhm.
sisters did. And I would always think, wow, he's being so hard. And I overheard him one day telling my mom, he said, you know, I'm trying to get them ready for a world
Mm-hmm.
that's not going to be nice
To them. That's right.
And we're in that world, you know, and some things aren't nice. You know, so we have to be strong. We have to have that support. And I'm just glad that you guys are there.
Yeah, I'm glad
For
you
my
guys are there
support.
too. I'm glad we're there for each
I love our
other.
outings.
Listen, attitude. Should we
Yeah.
sing Kumbaya?
Well,
Never
it's not
mind.
just the outings, but you know,
Just being able to call and talk.
Yeah.
Like even so many other young ladies, not just African Americans,
Right.
that will call me still, you know, for advice.
I think that's also don't ever people always. I don't want anyone to ever get that like twisted with this. Like we still get it being a woman, and like women still relate to other women too.
Right.
It's not a cutoff or anything
Correct.
like that.
Right. I want to be as open to them, and they'll call, and it's cute. I'll never say who they are. But one called me and was like, "I'm going for my interview tomorrow. Should I wear pants or a skirt?" And I'm like, "Well, what do you feel more comfortable in?" Well, my mom said since it's a male-dominated job, I should wear pants. And I said, "What do you want to wear?" You know, and I think she settled on the skirt.
Okay.
You know, another one. Well, they asked me to come out to the school, but I don't know if I should go. So I love getting those calls because it's like I'm able to give them advice, and then I know that they feel, you know, that I might know something.
Or
You know,
comfortable. That's
yeah.
a big thing. More you comfortable.
Had that call too. You know, I don't believe I'm talking. I would never call another chief and ask them this question. You know, so I'm glad people still just see me as Sharon too, because sometimes this chief thing is, it's nice. But I like to hear, Sharon, what would you do? You know, or I have this issue, and that they still feel, even though I've been promoted to chief, they can still come and have that girl talk with me.
Mhm.
I like that. And I can have fun still, and I love our outings too.
Yeah, and outings is good. As long as we, you know, it's not just that, but it's a big part.
It
It's a
is.
big part of the bonding.
Right,
And I think that's really important, because you gotta have that.
right.
And that's the it. Cut. 2021, we out here.